Hello, my name is Jimmy, and this is the, smallest pickup that Ford can provide at this time, the Maverick. It is super popular, not only because of its size, but its versatility. This here is the 2023 Lariat trim, which means it's the utmost trim of the lineup, but this has, the special Tremor off-road with appearance package. And what that means is, there's a little bit of off-road bits and a little bit of styling bits all over this vehicle. So let me show you everything you need to know, starting with the looks. Starting with the front here on the hood, you get some graphics, you get these smoked headlamps, and this gold trim within the grille itself. The gold trim you're going to see in a lot of different places, as with the tow hooks up front. On the side, we have these 17-inch wheels along with a little bit of that gold accent. Wrapped around them are Falcon AT3Ws, a pretty good all-terrain tire. This side piece here does have the gold Lariat on it, and you do have some graphics on the bottom of the sills. Gray mirrors here, along with gray door handles, which does have the proximity door locks on the front, but sadly not on the rear. Something that is kind of hard to notice is the roof itself is also gray. So you got gray roof, gray mirrors, and gray door handles. But because it's up there, you just can't really see it. On the side here, there's a Tremor on the side of the bed, and you got these smoked tail lamps. I mean, it's a good looking truck as is, but the Tremor package, it just adds a little bit more flair to the vehicle itself. One thing I do want to just let you be aware of is the Tremor cannot be had with the 4K tow package. So the maximum tow rating on the Tremor, 2,000 pounds with the hitch receiver that you see here. If we pop them in the bed, it is not a damp tailgate, so that's just gonna flop open. But you got your standard Maverick bed here. Nothing too astonishing. You get a spray-in bed liner. On the left, you get a 120-volt outlet. And on the right, a QR code so that you can print things to, utilize the bed a little bit more. But let's head inside. All right, the back seats of the Maverick. I'm 5'11" and headroom is good, legroom is also pretty good. I'm right against the back seat of the back of the front seat, I should say, of my driving position. So not too bad. And I mean, it's comfortable in here. I got enough light with the side window, and the rear window also open, so I can have a decent amount of fresh air in here, which is also nice. I don't get heated seats or anything, but that's fine. I do have a standard USB-A and a USB-C charge point, so I can charge my devices, and I got a 120-volt outlet as well, so I need to charge my laptop per se. I can do that there. This little port here, that is designed for 3D printing. So you can basically get the measurements off of Ford's website and 3D print whatever you need there. So if you want to put a cup holder there, you can. I mean, it comes with cup holders right here in the center armrest, but you can put one there if you like, or two, or three, I don't know, whatever you want. Maybe a McNuggets holder with dip sauce holder on the side. You know, that's what it's designed for. It's so that you can do whatever you want within the cabin here. One thing I will say is these seats are actually pretty comfortable, and they're actually not bad if you're carrying kiddos in here neither. I am a child passenger safety technician, and I put this collect lane here on the driver's side. No problems getting that into the cabin. The doors open a decent amount. It's not like a full 90 degrees, but it is better than the Bronco Sport that I had previously. On the passenger side here, this is a collect 5th. And there's no problem getting this rearward facing child seat in here. And just to show you, this is how much space I have in front of that rearward facing seat. While the Maverick is definitely a compact type of pickup, there's still enough space in here for your bulky child seats. Really no issues. In terms of lower anchors, I have a set on the driver's side and a set on the passenger side. And upper anchors, you do get them behind the bench. But because it is a one-piece bench, getting access to them may be a little bit difficult. And I mean, once it's installed, it's fine. But that first time might be a little bit of a problem. Just a little bit. But let's move up to the front. All right, the front seats of the Maverick, as this is the Lariat trim with all the options stacked on it, these are actually really comfortable. The bolsters on the side, they actually hold you in decently well without being too grapply in terms of kind of how they feel. So I actually do like them. The seats, they're powered as well as they're heated, so you can adjust it the way you want, and you can be decently comfortable in the winter as well. But sadly, in the summer, as it is right now, they're not cooled. I wish there was a cooled option, but I digress. In front of me, I do have Ford's typical steering wheel. It's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. The leather on it actually feels pretty nice. It is heated as well on this upper trim. I got all the buttons I need to control like adaptive cruise, the radio, and all that good stuff. And I can control the cluster that's right behind. As this is the higher trim, I get a larger display right in the middle to show me speed, trip information. There's quite a bit that can show from there. And even if you're changing drive modes, there's a little animation that shows on as well. So that is actually kind of nice. No heads-up display on the Maverick, that's totally fine. And I have my 8-inch infotainment system here. It does run off the latest sync, and I mean, sync always works well, so I have no problems with that. The only thing is, I just wish the screen was bigger. There's this cubby here off to the right. Once again, one of those 3D printing options, so you can do whatever you want in there. But I just wish that it spanned the entire, well, space here. But I guess, you know, an 8-inch unit does work well. You got your CarPlay, you got your Android Auto on it. So it has all the things that you naturally would need. The only thing is there's no wireless connectivity options. You do have to plug it into a USB cable on the bottom to get the, well, CarPlay and Android Auto. I mean, for some that's going to be a bummer, but I guess it's, you know, a cable. It's not too difficult. You do get a little cubby on top, which is nice to store a few things. And then underneath you have your dual zone climate control. I mean, it might look like a cluster of buttons down here, but I actually prefer that rather than like diving into the, well, screen here to control any other function. So I'd rather have this cluster of buttons, but really the only button that I'm using is that auto button. And that's, well, all I really need. I mean, overall, the interior, it has that kind of rugged feel to it. It kind of feels a little bit 3D printed at parts, especially these door cards. This geometric pattern that's in here, it's quite unique and quite nice, but it does feel a little bit 3D printed. It doesn't feel like as high quality as the Lariat trim generally is, but I guess it's a Maverick. It's still a quite base priced vehicle rather than like the F-150 or the Ranger. Under the hood here, on any of the Tremor packages, you do have to opt with the 2-liter Turbo 4. It has 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Made it to that, an 8-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. And with those numbers, acceleration is not bad at all. You can get to highway speeds in under 6 seconds. And this 2-liter turbo, I actually kind of like how it sounds. It's definitely not like an European 2-liter turbo with all the pops and bangs, but this is like essentially the Focus ST motor, tuned differently, of course. But the powertrain is good. It has all the power that you need. The 8-speed that's on this is relatively like quick to react. So when you put your foot down, it does accelerate quite well. The only thing I would say is you just can't control that 8-speed. You don't get paddles on the back. You don't even get, well, a Tiptronic function or anything like that. The only thing you get is an L button, and that's it. You don't really get a lot of control over the transmission, which, I mean, if you're off-road and driving around like that, it may come into kind of a situation where, you know, it's shifting between first and second gear. That might be a little bit troublesome, but for general, like around town use, really shouldn't be, well, much of an issue there. Speaking of drive modes, you do get quite a few of them. Not only do you have your normal, tow haul, you also get slippery, mud ruts, sand. I mean, it really has all the drive modes you naturally would need for a vehicle like this. And when situations get a little bit more tough, you do have a 4-wheel drive lock, as well as a rear diff lock button right here in the center console. The all-wheel drive system that's on here is actually very similar to like the Bronco Badlands edition because it has like the diff lock and everything else. And I mean, in that, it's been proven to be quite good. So in here, I mean, it should be just as good. You do get a little bit of a longer wheelbase, and where you feel that the most is just within the ride, because it's actually, this definitely rides better than the Bronco Sport that I had previously. Because the Bronco Sport, like, not only is it the longer wheelbase, but the spring rate that's on this is softer than the Bronco. Or maybe the Bronco that I had was just lighter because it was a 1.5, but either way, the Bronco, I felt a lot more of the road's imperfections than I do in this. This just feels more normal, and I like that. It doesn't feel like it's too harsh or anything like that. It just feels, well, like a normal vehicle really should. In terms of like the highway driving assist and the lane centering, it's very similar to other Ford with the Blue Cruise. Just works well. Adaptive Cruise can keep just, well, a really good pace with the vehicle in front, and the lane keep is, well, spot on. Like, you activate it, you keep a little bit of weight on the steering wheel, and it basically can do the rest for you. Although it really shouldn't, it kind of can. Sadly, I was told specifically that I wasn't allowed to take the Maverick here off-road, so I wasn't able to try out all the different modes there, but in terms of city driving, it's perfectly adequate. If anything, it's a little bit more than adequate, because you can get that base 2.5 liter hybrid engine, and that powertrain, while yes, it's only front wheel drive, and yes, it's pricier than before, it's still less than this. And while you can't get the off-road goodies in it, it's still a better like day-to-day truck if you're going to be doing that. I mean, you still can put, you know, a lift in the aftermarket world. You still can put kind of, you know, all-terrain tires on that, give it the look that you want, and just zero of that functionality. Like, it's going to be completely zero because it's front wheel drive, it's CVT. Yeah, it's just all the bad things in one. But honestly, the Maverick, it always makes me smile. I actually really love the Ridgeline since its introduction way back when. And I just feel like there's a place for trucks like these, because not everyone needs to tow, you know, 8,000, 9,000 pounds. Not everyone needs a full-size cab and full-size bed. I mean, sure, if I'm carrying 5 people in here, they're definitely not going to be as comfortable as if I was in a F-150, for example. But if I'm carrying 4, it's not far off. Well, if we compare it to like the Ranger, for example, I would say it's not far off. So it just really makes sense, this truck. The only thing that may not make sense too much is just what the pricing of this specific example goes for. As tested here is just shy of 54,000 Canadian dollars. That's a decent amount for a small truck like this. But this is the top of the range. This has all the options. This is just what Ford wants to show you. Because if you step down to the XLT with the Tremor package, that's under 40,000 Canadian dollars. And you don't have to get the appearance package too. So you don't get the stripes on the hood, the side, as well as the gray bits and pieces. That can save you like 2,000 Canadian dollars as well. So you can get a Tremor that's decently priced. Just don't get this one. Unless you want all the bits and pieces, like the B&O audio system. That audio system is actually quite good. But in any case, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like this? Do you rather just have the base 2.5 hybrid? Because that's all you really need? Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you get this Santa Cruz Ridgeline, or would you get a real truck? In any case, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later. Take care.